Hi, it's the 12th of November 2018 at 7:30 p.m. A couple of weeks ago, I visited a female YouTuber on YouTube. Her name was Out There 2017. A guy called Free Speech told me about a channel, and he said, "Oh, I think there'll be a video idea in this for you." So I went over and had a look at it. Normally I don't say anything, if I don't like the videos, but in this case I couldn't resist. See, what had happened was she was talking about how she'd had a bad relationship years ago, and the guy he was in business for himself, and had turned to her for help. And he was complaining that, life's unfair, everybody hates me, and blah, blah, blah. And it ended up that her father advised her that, a man never dumps his problems on a woman. And I sort of, it really rubbed me up the wrong way, but I guess to her credit, she's telling the truth. It was all coming out. And I thought, I bet there'll be a few women out there that are not too happy about this, because it's showing what's really inside, not all, but probably a lot of women's mind, that, they're not there to help you with your business or your career or anything else like that. I did a video on it, a couple of videos back, but I sarcastically sort of retorted that, your father's right. It's not a man's job. It's not a woman's job to support a man and be supportive. That's for mgtow. And since making that stupid statement, I actually thought about it. I thought, what if it was mgtow's responsibility? What if men actually turned to one another for help and support, and just not bringing all the problems and everything, but just actually turn to one another more? I thought, maybe, because I've never got a great deal of help or anything. A lot of effort, but not much achievement. So I thought, maybe we don't need women. Maybe we're better off without them. Maybe just take that view. Maybe we're better off. Just take the view that we're better off without them. So with all that in mind, I started. I thought, what can guys actually do on here? What can we do together? Well, one thing we can do is visit one another. So I started visiting people. In fact, I had lunch with Griff, Sunday lunch, which was something, if you remember me talking about the Friendly Club, that's what I initially set the Friendly Club up to achieve. So I could have Sunday lunch with somebody, rather than, I don't want anybody here, but I thought if I was helping somebody out and I have lunch, it would be, a bit of fun. I buy them some drinks and a meal, and they make a little profit out of it. 2 years I think I tried to do it. No, didn't want to do it. Half the people I spoke to didn't think it would work or that you'd be able to do it. And just give up. But on Sunday I spoke, or prior to that, I spoke to Griff and I said, I want to try lunch. He said, why not? Sounds good to me. So, I turned up for lunch, and he set up the cam on a tripod. He's in the kitchen cooking, okay? And he's got the laptop on the kitchen table, and it's sort of a panoramic, it's sort of a stand-back shot of the kitchen, and he's in it. I only had a friend over and that sort of thing. I was chatting to the friend, I was chatting to Griff, and it was really, I couldn't believe how well it went. I got too drunk. I drank 2 bottles of wine, 2 bottles of beer. But it was a really good time. And I noticed a couple of things strange about it. One was that it felt, when you go to visit somebody, you feel uncomfortable or awkward. Well, in this case you don't, because you're in your home. They are in their home. So you're both king of the castle, if you get my drift. Okay, so it's strange, it's a different way. It's not a phone call, it's not like, you got a face on Skype and then, no, you're back and that's sort of, you're doing things, you're walking around, you're talking. It's basically, you're virtually in one another's house. But you've got this, it's a different feeling. It's something I hadn't experienced before. You're in your own home, and you feel like you're in your own, confident, that sort of thing. There's no sort of awkwardness or politeness or, where's your bathroom or anything else like that. No, you're just stumbling around doing all the things. And he's doing the same thing. Oh, that's interesting. And the other thing that I noticed was interesting is I felt like I was back in 1972. It was just, we're just doing all the things that guys in 1972 did. Go drunk together and You know, it just felt like I'd gone all the way back. No women around at all. So I didn't have to, you know, not that we were talking about women, it's just they weren't there. Like in 1972, they usually weren't there. It was usually the guys out by themselves. Yeah, so there was that sort of two things. That were the two big hallmarks about it. Anyway, through the lunch, I said to Griff, you know, what I'd really like to do, it's sort of doing this sort of thing helps me. And I have cups of coffee and chats with, you know, a few of the guys on the channel. It actually helps. You know, it's sort of like, a little bit like a therapy session, I suppose. Not that we talk about anything deep and meaningful, it's just good to talk. And I said, yeah, that's all right, but I mean, everybody's coming through me, you know, like, you know, everybody chats to me. I said, why can't you all chat together? I said that the answer for that is really simple. We don't know one another. We only know you. We only see you on cam. Fair enough, that makes sense. Anyway, he said, oh, I've just got to hang my washing out, it's about to rain. And he took the cam outside, and you know, I spoke to him while I was hanging the washing out. And I was just sitting there. He said, oh, you gone quiet, Bob? I said, yeah, I'm just thinking. I said, Griff, how did you start mgtow? How did you get involved in mgtow? And he started talking, and he was hanging out his glove. And then I asked him another question. I said, Griff, you know what? I can interview guys like you on the channel, put you up. That way, you know, just me talking to you, asking you questions. You know, not a live thing, you know, don't go to that. No, it's just a video, you know, you send the video to me and what have you. And I'll put it into a video, you know, and that way people can sort of, you know, meet you. And I think, oh yeah, and then they talk to you on this channel. I mean, go away and start your own channel if you want to, but I mean, it seems, you know, it'll be just better on one channel. And then I could talk to other guys and sort of get a whole group of people going. I said, oh yeah, we could do that. And you know, we sort of talked about what we could do. He did ask, you know, what's his motivation for doing it? Was it? Oh, I thought, yeah, good question. Yeah, there's no real reason, but I mean, what's my motivation for doing this? I guess I don't know. So you know, it's sort of up to him if he wants to broaden his social network at all. Personally, I find it good to broaden. You know, they say that you shouldn't, you know, but you know, I find if I chat to several people, I tend to not bog down and get into that narc zone, you know, being critical or, you know, where the relationship gets too deep, which is what I think happens with most marriages, actually. You know, the idea of putting a man and a woman together in the same house and only those two. I mean, I don't know how it lasts at all. But I find going from here to there, it's good, it's uplifting, you know, and you swap around. Anime guy reviews keep saying, you know, we have to do coffee sometime. Yeah, and I'll get there too. I don't know, just for some reason I'm not getting there. I had coffee with Rox the day before last, or was it? I don't know. Yeah, oh, that was funny. Yeah, that was the first one. You know, it was earlier in the week when we were typing, you know, because he just wanted to chat. Okay, and we were typing. It was late at night his time, and it was middle of the day my time. And I said, oh, gee, you know, why don't we just cam? Wouldn't it be better to cam? Why are we doing all this chatting? He's on a phone, slow, okay? And I said, you know, and really, we could do coffee. And so we ended up camming that night. And he said, oh, well, we can cam now, have coffee now. You know, he was going to have tea and I'd have coffee. And yeah, as soon as he said that, I thought, no, hang on, just give me a few minutes. I want to tidy up the house and have a shave. What for? Does it matter? Does it make any difference? But it was that same feeling. It felt like doing a coffee date. You know, that you know, tidy yourself up and have a shave and whatever, and go out to a coffee shop or whatever. So it's the same sort of thing. In fact, it's so realistic, going back to what happened with Griff. I was talking to my neighbour a couple of days after we had the luncheon, and I was explaining what happened to the neighbour. And his face lit up. He said, oh, so what it was? I said, oh, I thought you had a friend over. I said, could you hear us good? He said, yeah, loud as clear. I had the speakers up too loud. Yeah, he said, it sounded like you having a great time. I said, we did. I said, we buggered. You could actually hear us. He said, yeah. I thought, how realistic is that? It was so real that he thought Griff was visiting me here. And we were just sitting back having a few drinks. That if anything, nothing else, it just blew my mind, that thing. You know, it was just like, wow, that's how strong it is. That's how good it is. And you know, And then the night before last, I was talking to Rox. Yeah, he was, you know, in the mood for a chat, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Griff who once said, yeah, but guys like to do stuff while they're talking. I don't need to. I can just sit here and talk. But it seems that a lot of guys, you know, do like to do things while they're talking. And actually, Rox was cleaning the house, and as he was cleaning, he was explaining his system for cleaning. He got some clues from a website. I think it was fly.net or something like that. Yeah, it's a woman that teaches you how to turn chaos into order. And he was as he was doing these things, he was explaining it. You know, like you don't clean the whole house. You only clean 8 areas. I don't know if you've got a bit of time left over, you do the other things, but that way it's no longer the whole huge house. It's just 8 areas within the house. Yeah, the main things that get dirty. And I thought, gee, that's a good idea. But we're just chatting about that sort of thing. You know, and we did drift into talking about the EU for a bit and what was happening in Europe. And I said, I was trying to say, I tend to, because I did 70 videos on how not to get dragged into the narc zone, I stop away from subjects like that. You know, I tend to think about, you know, what you're doing, what I'm doing at an individual level. And he was, oh, yeah, okay, I see. I said, yeah, I'm very, very mindful, don't get dragged into the narc zone. And each time I start talking about a group of people, you know, it could be country, it could be feminist, could be anything, I find relationships start going wrong. If it's just individual, what you're doing, you know, and you know why you're doing it, and this, if it's just me and you, relationships go really well. But I think you can spend too much time with one person, you know. So that's why, yeah, the idea of, you know, flitting around, going from one to the very thing they say you shouldn't do. You know, it's I found it's the very thing to do. You know, I'll talk about this in the next video, but it's not that complex, but it's something's happened that's just really changed my life in a big way, and it all has to do with energy, and who you're thinking about, and what's draining your energy. And if you're draining your energy, for example, you know, worrying about things like the EU that you can't change, you tend to get angry. And anger uses up and burns energy. And if you burn your mental energy, you end up in a deficit. You'll start getting depressed. You'll start getting down. But as I said, I'll talk more about that in the next video. I'm really quite excited about this because it's all about this SAD that I've had all my life. And it actually, I think I'm finding, I'd like another day or two just to confirm what's happening, but it seems that my problem is sunlight. Sunlight is actually overstimulating my brain, because we get a lot of sun here in Australia. It really powers us, and it overstimulates my brain and works me to death and exhausts me, and that also burns up in that process burns up the mental energy and leaves me feeling low and depressed actually. You know, I've put drapes up a couple of hours ago. I feel tremendous right now. Absolutely tremendous. But I'll talk, as I said, I'll discuss that in the next video, and also other things that might be draining our energy, and women is a good one. And really what we've got to try and do to get ourselves away from energy sucking organisms and objects. And I think that's important. But I do think that if we can, look, it could take a while to do this, but if we could create a social network on this channel, okay? Just on, don't just use Rock's idea, yeah, just this channel. You know, maybe look for 1 or 2 guys that you can chat with. That's it, no more, just 1 or 2, all right, on this channel. Not everywhere, you don't have to do it everywhere. And I'm saying that because I tend to have, I tend to be hail fellow well met, okay? And I'm showing you all that, you know, I'm not sort of, you know, not being the angry ant, you know, You know, that's. I'm just trying to say, hail fellow, well met works. Keep off certain subjects. You know, do this and do that. It actually works, and it works socially. It works well, and you know, particularly if you're on your own, and you're finding yourself, you know, through the day getting pissed off about this or about that, or something you saw on television, or something you saw on YouTube, it's pissing you off. It helps to actually just have somebody to talk about, you know, to talk to, and reach out to, and just for nothing deep and meaningful. Just maybe have a cup of coffee together, you know, piece of cake maybe, or a drink. Have a couple of beers with them. Why not? I mean, it doesn't work with women. I've tried it for 2 years. They don't know what to say anyway, but guys are better off at conversation. And we've all got this common purpose. We're all YouTubers, so we all, you know, we know about some interesting stuff. Okay, so we've got that view. But I still, having said that, I find the more individual you can be, one-on-one, the better it is. But as I said, we can talk about that later. In my next video, I want to talk about energy and energy sappers and depression, and you know, all of the things that I think is so obvious when you see it, so obvious, and you think, oh God. I mean, I've gone in 2 hours. I've gone from being very low, very depressed, very down, to just fine. I'm not in a mania. I'm just normal. You know, I'm a bit hyped up, but I always am. You know, I've been like this all my life, but it would be, you know, I'm not sort of, I haven't got these great ideas or anything else like that. I'm just working and what have you. 2 hours ago, I could barely stand, truly, and that's just from putting drapes up. You know, keeping the sun out. I feel fantastic. Couldn't be better. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that next time, and we'll talk about some other things as well. Okay, good talking to you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.